Okay, good morning everyone and a very warm welcome again to the Banqueting Hall in South Lanarkshire Council's headquarters. My name is Michelle Stewart. I met a lot of you the last time you were here. I'm the Literacy Development Officer for the Authority, and I am delighted to welcome you all, young people, teachers, Authority representatives, councillors, invited guests, to the inaugural Interschool final of World War 2013. I'm sure you will agree that after our MC event that was held in this very same hall just 3 weeks ago, we went away extremely impressed and inspired by the input of our three extremely talented hip hop artists and how they shared their experience and their expertise with us. And today, hopefully we will witness that inspiration in action through our School v School battles. So before our rap battles commence, can I wish every one of our contributors from all three schools the very best of luck in your performances. And for everyone in the audience to enjoy the battles, but also show, please, your support to all performers. It takes tremendous courage to stand up and do what they are about to do. So let's show our appreciation and support of that, please. At this point, I'd like to welcome Mr. Peter Kelly from Holy Cross High School to the stage to say a few words and begin the table for us.
Thanks very much, and welcome back. Obviously this has been a big project. It's been something that we've put a lot of time into, everybody who's been involved, and not least of all yourselves. We have enjoyed fantastic battles between our classes and in our own classes as well, and I'm sure that you have too. So Holy Cross thankfully has been mirrored across the Authority, which is what we were really hoping for. So first prize for the overall winning school will be a recording session with a professional music producer, and that will be the winning school. So the 4 battlers who have come from the winning school will go forward to take part in a recording session, which will be really exciting, and I'm sure that we'll look forward to hearing what you come up with.
Always complain when mobile phones are not to blame. We run our phones all the time, but you should know it's not a crime. Teachers carry bricks around, and to be honest, you look like clowns. Portable phone boxes back in the day, because we've got better phones you make us pay. Sitting in maths need to add up, phones in my pocket, bring the app up. When teachers take our phones away, better bring up the app that makes them pay. Bored in English reading a book, hold on the now, let's get on Facebook.
Let's talk about phones, let's get in the zone. Phones are not a plus, they are a curse. Phones are a distraction while doing your subtraction. Can't wait to see your teacher's reaction. So when you're sitting in class and you see that flash, oh no, I'm going to have to face my teacher's wrath. Because if you're sitting on your phone constantly not paying attention, you're definitely going to be getting a detention. And if you're sitting on your phone, you'll fail your exams. Do you understand this epigram? Or do you need me to send it through a picture on Instagram? If you don't put your phone in silent, the consequences will be violent. You should stop complaining because we're all gaining.
Pals on the phone, teacher comes along and raises her tone. That's me in trouble again, away to greet to my best pal Ben. Don't know why she took the phone off me. I was just well bored, she said after. Got my phone back at the end of the day, wish the teacher would just go away. I just wanted to add up my sums, I'll have to do a punny when the time comes. Think we should be allowed our phones in school. To heck with the rules, I'm not meant to be rude, but there'll definitely be a price cut. Phone contracts got internet, save the school a fortune I bet. Teachers think we can't spell. We're changing the language, can't you tell?
Phones aren't cool, they're just a distraction tool. In school on your phone, not knowing how to take out a loan. You'll never get into college because you have no knowledge about how to be educated because the necessary brain cells haven't been created. So your IQ is the same as my shoe. Homer Simpson's shouting at you while the teacher's helping you. You think that's clever, don't you? Well, it makes you look like a twit. So in the end, phones should be banned from school. I think you've learned your lesson, you just felt physical depression.
School's computers are dead slow, my phone's as fast as a bullet, you know. Can't believe I'm not allowed it out. I mean, what's the big deal about? I work better when I'm listening to music. I wish the teachers wouldn't lose it. Sitting in class, music blaring, done my work, but she's still complaining. Basically what I'm trying to say is we should be allowed them out during the day. Don't really care about the so-called rules. The phone should be allowed out in all schools. Come on teachers, you know what to do. Let us on our phones. Thank you.
Sitting in class on your phone, it's messing with your head. Do your work in sums instead. You need to check your text, spelling, punctuation. It's an appalling situation. Phones are just a liability, they're not secure. You should be worried about getting hacked like Boris Johnson and the others attacked. You know Boris Johnson, big guy with the bicycle swan song? Just like you, Rebecca Brooks should have got off her phone and back to her Jones instead of acting like Al Capone. Put your iPhone away, stop acting like a gangster. Don't you know that guy's dead? What was his name? Gerbil Hamster?
First of all, well done everybody. That was a fantastic opening. Great performance. It's always very difficult to be the first to perform in front of everybody, and no doubt nerve-wracking, so fantastic. Some great stuff from both of you. I'll just go from left to right, so I'll just start with you guys from Holy Cross. Firstly, your delivery was brilliant, guys. Obviously spent a lot of time learning your words, and your performance was really polished. You had a good combination, I think, of kind of making points and social referencing, bringing in Rebecca Brooks and Boris Johnson and stuff like that, and getting kind of like rap style disses in there as well with the IQ my shoe line. So some really good stuff. You guys from Calderside, also some fantastic stuff in there. Straight in with a teacher diss, which I was really impressed with. Right, no messing about. And also a really good point about local vernacular and how text speak is developing our language, so it's not necessarily incorrect, it's just an evolution.
Yeah, I would agree with Dave. I thought both arguments were presented great. I do think that Holy Cross, obviously, battle rap is all about the performance aspect of it and how you engage with the audience, so I feel as if you had the advantage of learning it off by heart and you're really projecting your voice a lot more. But I thought that both sides presented a great argument.
I agreed with both of the points that they've actually mentioned, everything almost that I wrote down. I thought just a couple of things was that the Holy Cross, just towards the end there, you had the wee back and forth thing. And that's a good device to use if it is tag team battles, because it's quite impressive for the audience to see people working together. The IQ my shoe thing that Dave mentioned, that's a great example of just simple wordplay, just the way the words sound. I thought that was done really well. Calderside, I thought that the lyrics were really well written. I thought the multis, as we would call them in battle rap, that was just in reference to multisyllabic, which I'm sure you have covered in your class at some point. That was great. Obviously you can see the contrast there between you guys delivering your thing to the audience, which is an effective way to do it, but then the contrast in you guys delivering it to them. So it just depends on weighing it up, how the battle's going, but I think for both of you, you see different approaches, so well done.
An absolutely great start. It takes a wee while to get our heads around exactly what this is going to be like, you know, and obviously this is the best way to see it, you know, where everybody's bringing their ideas together, and it's quite exciting seeing people doing it all across different schools.
This is your judgment day, so listen to what we have to say. The internet is a sensation. Facebook is for our generation. Friends, photos, those to upload. If that's not you, just download. You came here to just use of social media, Instagram, YouTube, even the online encyclopedia, Wikipedia. It's about staying connected and protected, like Skynet. Let's be honest, this is your frustration about the realization that social networking enhances imagination. This is just an observation of your argument's termination. Subtract yourself from the fight. You're up against a Terminator. My answers add up right. You struggle to use a calculator. Don't worry too much, sweetheart. There's still an impartial adjudicator.
You think some social networking is harmless fun, but actually it makes me want to run further and further away from this place. Because everyone says I'm a big disgrace. You call me many disgusting names, like this is all just a big game.
Xbox, PlayStation, they dominate our nation. So, Xbox, PlayStation, they dominate our nation. It's a good way of communication. So, John. The social code is too hard for you to crack, so get back to your Nokia and even to my iMac. Why would you need social media? You don't have any friends. And why would you need to set up a video recorder? You don't go out on weekends. In fact, you wouldn't need to. In fact, why do you set a video recorder? Why do you even have a video recorder? These sites aren't a contest for popularity. It's such a hilarity. It's never a disparity.
Here at James or Ask FM, anonymous comments put me down. Now I'm too scared to go into town. I'm scared of going into school because I don't know who's calling me a fool. Leaving nasty comments on Facebook on the way I am and the way I look.
People Twitter ask a lot. We all think that they're so hot. Sitting on Facebook being a god. Lots of research will help you get a job. Sitting on Twitter eating a fritter. Good communication will help the nation.
No one to trust, no one to tell. I feel as though I'm burning in hell. Always tell me to die. More and more nights I cry. Anonymous hate hurts us more because when we read it, we don't hear the attacker's voice, we hear our own.
That knowledge will help you get into college. The newest thing out is a PS4, but you better be careful you don't fall off your dinosaur. That'd be sore. But don't be sore just because you've already lost this war. Just like Arnie, I'll be back. But you won't.
Be who they are, all because they took it too far. You hurt my feelings every night, saying I'm ugly and I know you're right. Making me want to make the rope tight and walk towards the heavenly light. They don't understand me fully, that's why I think we can be a cyberbully.
Well done. Excellent. I think just as a note, just for anyone that's coming up again, the general thing is just now, and I can understand why, you're nervous, so you're all going really fast. And because our ears are tuned to that, we can all make out what you're saying, but for future reference, try and slow down and enjoy the performance a wee bit more. That's just a wee note in general. I thought you guys were great, particularly the dude that's off the paper, and I thought, mate, you done really well dealing with that pressure. I've had moments like that before and not recovered from them, and it's very difficult when you think that you're forgetting or you get worried. I thought you done really well there with that. You guys, for me, you adopted a very serious tone about the issue, and I think that that's great because that is a unique way to approach it. People normally approach battling in a jovial way, you know, it's about fun and cracking jokes. You've really, you really caught them off guard because whenever it got back to you guys, the tone changed, and I think that meant that you had a lot of impact. So congratulations to both of you. That's the sort of main points that I would have mentioned.
I would just like to echo what Loki said there. I thought that it was great performance. I really liked how Carl Luke took that more serious tone, how you referenced the nasty comments. I think that these are issues, a very relevant topic at this time. So I think it's a great debate to have, and it's great to see it in a battle rap format. I thought you both presented your arguments really well, and I liked some of the rhymes that you used here, like hilarity, disparity. I thought that had me chuckling a wee bit. The Terminator metaphor and how you kind of both fed off one another was great as well. And just to say again, like how you referenced the nasty comments and how people think that they could be a god on Twitter while they're eating a fritter. That was great as well. So well done, both of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done, everybody on stage. Some great performances. As Darren said, really good recovery, because sometimes actually recovering once you're stumbled a little bit is one of the hardest things to do, so really good recovery there. Just to go left to right again, starting with Holy Cross, I liked that you started with a threat and a point, which was a nice brave start to a battle, which was good. You had a good combination of considering issues, humour and attack, which is all the kind of main points you want to hit when you're rapping in a battle rap format. Again, great display of vocab with the likes of the disparity line. You brought real issues up about communication and the benefits of that. And then you had good creativity and humour with the Terminator line, with the dinosaur line as well, which was great. Look, some really good stuff as well. And again, absolutely really nice to see you guys looking at it, like taking on the issues and really considering them. You brought up some great points about bullying. You brought up some great points about self-image, which were really interesting, and how that's reflected in social media. And the anonymity of it, which was also a really interesting point that you brought up, and how I thought it was very interesting that you're saying when you're saying these things to us, we're hearing them in our own voice, so they're kind of echoing our own fears, which is a really interesting point. So well done, everybody.
And we're moving on to our last battle. I would just like to point out as well the fact that, well, just as you're saying, it's nerve-wracking, really nerve-wracking what you're doing. And obviously we've been having debates in school for time immemorial. This is sort of different. This is something which is stepping even further out of that comfort zone. So really genuinely well done to everybody that's been battling so far. The last battle will be on the legal drinking age. The legal drinking age should be reduced, and arguing for that will be called aside, and arguing against will be Carlook. After this battle, there will be a short interval during which you can obviously have a little chat to each other, as the judges have a very important chat amongst themselves. Okay, so last battle, legal drinking age should be reduced.
Why go to the capital in Kentucky when you can have a wee glass of bucky? Police, get us some peace, we're only drinking for a wee release. Here comes the hopeful, all the minds scream at all. Why should we lower the drinking age? But the real question is, why do you put us in a cage? Why don't we copy France and take a chance with how young people choose the booze? Don't worry, they won't lose. Everyone's beginning to combat, trying to figure out the stats. I'm 16, no machine.
Newsflash, underage drinking is illegal. All your friends drinking tonic wine, trying to boost their ego, hanging about the streets drinking wine can end up giving you quite a fine, or even leading to quite a crime, and you could end up doing time in a cell doing time, and yet you're finding this out from around.
Should we take the drinking limit down and not frown? Most of them are drinking on the street anyway. It's like we're not even trying, but some of us are crying, so stop lying. Ring, ring, please, can you help me here? Tell them to reduce and just let loose. It won't do any harm, it looks like a charm. More money for the government, eh? More money for us to pay. You're allowed to get married at 16 if your parents say, so why aren't you allowed to drink at 16, eh? You make the streets safer for a 16-year-old. Come on, you don't need to be told.
You think it's cool just to go and get on it, but it leads to get higher like a spaceman, a comet, but realistically you'll end up in a pool full of vomit. The majority of teens will always get drunk, then you'll see our life going down like a boat being sunk.
The clock goes tick-tock, everyone's trying to decide, hurry up and make up your mind. It's not that hard, drinking should not be bad. Some people need an identity card. The 16-year-olds are misread. Trust me, you need to give them some cred. Listen, we have to sort this out, don't get them with a sense of doubt. Why do people go about and start to shout? Now this is almost the end, come on, get this to trend. Lower the drinking age and you'll be on a new page.
Interfering with your education hungover on a Monday, affecting concentration, no more determination to secure qualifications, laughing stock to friends and foes, total humiliation.
And what do you want to do? Lower the age of getting a bevy? Not think there's enough trouble on the streets already? Not enough youths roaming trying hard to keep themselves steady?
So in conclusion, underage drinking really isn't cool, and if we were to lower the drinking age, well, we'd all end up as fools.
Right, okay, judges, when you
I thought you all done really well. It was a great battle. It's a difficult subject to debate. Obviously, I think probably Calder side were more up against it from the beginning, trying to argue that. So I think kudos for that, definitely for presenting a great argument. Some of the notable references I noticed, you'd mentioned about the legal age for marriage was 16, so I thought that was a really good argument. Also the main kind of safety issues, what I think would be echoed by everyone in this kind of debate. For Carluke, who we're arguing against, I thought the line about how it could boost your ego in that, I've definitely seen that happen before, I've experienced that. I liked how you used your writer's craft to your similes, higher than a comet and you end up in a pool of vomit, or some words to that effect, and like a boat being sunk. I thought they were really good references, and also I'd like to comment how you continued the rhyme pattern between one another as well for your whole verse. It was the same rhyme pattern that I thought was great. So well done to all four of you.
Another really good battle. I'd say definitely good job you guys, because it probably did have the slightly less popular side of the argument to argue there. And sometimes that can be quite challenging, but you get some really interesting stuff out of it. You raised some really interesting issues, real issues about both of you raised the same issues from opposite sides about people drinking in the streets, which was really interesting to see the same argument argued from either side. One saying that actually they lowered the drinking age, it would reduce drinking in the streets, and the other saying people drink in the streets because the drinking age is what it is. So it was really interesting to see that argued on both sides. I thought that on it, comet, vomit line was brilliant, really, really good. On the other side of things, guys, I thought it was really important that you guys were saying we should be allowed choice. I thought the main issues you raised were very interesting about choice and about being treated like adults, and bringing up the kind of a more European approach to alcohol, and how that actually you might get more responsibility as a result of being treated more responsibly. And you also raised the marriage issue, which was fantastic. Like, where do we call people responsible for some aspects of their life and not for others, which were really good. And I liked the way you finished. You raised the identity card thing, which was really interesting as well. So you brought lots of social referencing in there, and then finished the line finishing with drinking age and new page. I thought it was a good idea as well, a good concept.
I think Jerry looked like she was having a lot of fun for the start. You can see that inspires goodwill in the audience, and so that's nice. It can be very difficult sometimes trying not to be too serious about it. I thought one of the things that we learned from this battle is that facts don't always win arguments. Sometimes people wait to make a decision on the emergence of a fact, but there's always a counterfact. So what I think that you guys done well from Carluke was, no, in fact, actually, so I'm getting mixed up because the names are the opposite way around. You guys, I thought what you done well was, based on the fact that you might not have had the best argument starting position, then you sort of try and draw the absurdities and inconsistencies in your opponent. So what you do is your strategy is not to attack the argument, which you realise is a bit of a difficult case to make. You point out the person making the argument and point out the inconsistencies there. I thought that's a good tactic to compensate for, the premise of where you're starting from. Overall, I thought you looked like you were having fun, and obviously have took on board what we mentioned before about slowing it down as well, which is great. You're already taking feedback and filtering that into what you're doing, so very well done. Really enjoyed it.
So for us today to just come out to the stage, please? And a big round of applause.
Can we just have another round of applause for everybody who's taken part? Also for the school teachers, Mr. Peter Perry for having the foresight to put rap battles into school. I think that's a really great approach. Just thank you to absolutely everyone who's took part. We felt that there was quite an overwhelming argument for one particular school to win, and that was because they ticked all the boxes of battle rap. So that was the performance element, but most importantly in a school context and in a battle rap context, use your similes, metaphors, puns, a wee bit of wit, a wee bit of attack. So Loki, Solari and myself would like to congratulate Holy Cross. Put your hands together for all girls.
Okay, well done to Holy Cross, and I must say, huge congratulations to Calderside and to Kerlook, who were fantastic. Before we wind up today, I think I'll let you guys take a seat actually. Obviously you've worked very hard today, but I would like to say first of all how honoured I am that these young people have done this for us all. We couldn't be here today and be celebrating anything if these young people, I'm using that expression a lot, if these school pupils had not stepped outside of the traditional parameters of what's expected at school and done something which I hope that they'll always remember, and something which I will certainly always remember, because if we hadn't done this first time, we could never do it again. And I hope that this is something which will go on for a long time and will grow and benefit more and more people. Big thank you to the 3 judges as well. Dave Hook, Louis, and Darren McGarvey, whose expert knowledge of this obviously is an essential part of the success that it's become. So big thanks to them. They put in an incredible amount of work, and it has to be acknowledged that not only have they put in a lot of work today, but also in terms of the MC event which we enjoyed the other week. There was a lot of writing involved in that, as I'm sure now you all appreciate how much is involved, how much writing goes into rap. Rap is poetry, and the fact that it was incorporating in this case a debate element, and all of the ideas which have been brought in increases the amount altogether. So big thanks to them. I'd also like to thank Michelle Stewart and Janie Maughlan very much for all their support, and also the schools, all of the teachers who have been making this work in their classes. When you have an idea like this, there's always a chance that people will just think you're crazy, and if they don't support you, then probably you are. So I'm very grateful to all of the teachers who've put in all of their time, all of their effort into making this so successful. So thank you very much.
Say, I think we've all been very lucky today, but I think the luckiest people in this hall are probably the pupils sitting in front of me. You are very lucky to be in 3 schools where the teachers and the head teachers have had the foresight to actually support this innovative experience that you've had. Time changes. But if you don't have teachers like Peter, like Mr. Kelly, who have these wonderful ideas, and then these wonderful ideas are translated into, excuse me, but do you think I could? So you've got people like Mrs. Juste, the principal teacher at Holy Cross, who took Peter's idea, who supported him, and then it just flew. And now we've got 3 schools involved. And the pupils from Calderside and Kerlook, again, if you didn't have people in the schools, your head teachers and your English teachers, who were happy to go with this new idea, you wouldn't have had the experience we've had today. And I just think that's wonderful. I'm proud fit to burst of South Lanarkshire and what it's been able to do today and where this might go. This will not be the last time this will happen. And I think that's very, very important. But you will always be the first. Guys, what can we say? Really, I know Peter has thanked you, but I just think this is a wonderful link and I hope it will continue. This is where I hope the esteem, the respect for guys like yourselves who can take words and make magic out of them. You know, I still get hairs in the back of my neck when I think of what you were like, the three of you, when you did your performances. It just was amazing. I can't say thank you enough, but there is something else I do want to say, and that is, there's one person in this room who wasn't thanked fully enough. He did the vote of thanks, but he wasn't thanked fully enough, because to me, he's up there. I just think having ideas and having the guts to vocalise them, put your head above the parapet and actually do everything for the bairns. And to me, you're bairns. My apologies, you might be third year, but to me, you're bairns. And for somebody like Peter Kelly to have these ideas and not just to keep them to himself, and everything that guy does is for the pupils. And he's not selfish with what he does. He shares it, he shares his ideas. He could have kept that to himself. He didn't. Peter, can I ask you to stand up and take the round of applause you Peter had double dared me to do a rap. Now, no, don't worry. I heard the groans. And can I say that when I said to my daughter, she's down in London at university, when I said to her, she said, Mother. She always calls me Mother when she's going to get annoyed at me. Mother, if you do it, don't ever let me hear what you say. So, it's one verse, and it's not very good, and you're allowed to laugh at me if you want. Okay? Right. This is my moment in the sun. Are you ready? When I told my adult daughter I might have to rap, she said I shouldn't oughta. But I felt that it was the way, an honest, deep felt thanks to say. Thank you.